I think one of the disappointing things about last night was the manner of how we imploded. It's probably a good way to put it in the second half. First half, I thought we were fantastic. Fantastic, but then, as Brendan Rodgers alluded to, the fact that the team on the pitch decided to put a different wall in place, the one that wasn't talked about in training, and they put Kyogo on the wall, and for reasons unknown to anybody else, bar the players on the pitch at the time. And then we all know what happened. Kyogo steps out the wall, takes a step to the left, turns his back, and where he was standing is where the ball went right through. If he stood in his place, Joe Hart might have had a better chance of getting to the ball because the wall would have covered that area. The fact that Joe Hart did get a slight touch to the ball as it goes in the back of the net, we'll watch the game, we'll see what happened. Another player that was a huge, huge disappointment for me after all the fanfare and of him joining Celtic is Lewis Palmer. I thought he had a really bad game. You know, it was the amount of times I read some stats, and he lost 8 of his 11 duels, 73%. Failed to make a single tackle, block or clearance, and he was dribbled past twice. When we look at the player that we sold for 25 million, and we're going to bring in someone for far, far less, it is unbelievable, and especially in the day after Celtic announced fantastic financial results. But hey ho, it's okay, we've got 40 million profit and we've got 70 million sitting in the bank. We all said before the Champions League started, if we managed to keep the same squad together last season, all we needed to do was improve the team by 3 or 4 players. Champions League squad standard. Players that had played in Europe, players that had maybe cost about between 5 and 10 million, you never know. And just bring players in. Look, we bought John Hartson for 6 million. We bought Chris Sutton for around about 6 million. We brought Neil Lennon for 6 million back in the day. That would probably equate to around about 10 million in this day and age. But it's one of those things. Celtic, again, failed to capitalise on a place of strength. And it's just absolutely unbelievable. Let's go back to Lewis Palmer. I mean, the fact is, his 23-year-old, he did not make up for his lack of defensive work, the quality in the wing play. But look, you know, he had 2 attempts of dribbling past players. He had 6 attempts in total, and he just couldn't do it. You know, he was dominated, absolutely dominated. And I thought playing Palmer was a pretty good call. Before the game, I thought Brendan Rodgers got the team absolutely right. Nobody was faulting the team 44 minutes into the game. Nobody was faulting Brendan Rodgers. There was none of this, it's total Brendan ball, passing side to side. You know, there was plenty of time yesterday to equalise and get back into the game. But they completely dominated us the first 5 minutes. First 5 minutes of the first half, they sat back and tried to play like Angeball did and get us to pull forward. It did that. It got our midfield completely out of shape. Does that come down to Callum McGregor? Not making himself known enough and not giving enough instructions. And then when you can go back to the goal just before half time and the free kick. Who decided that Kyogo was to go in the wall? Because it's something that Brendan Rodgers says that they don't do in training. Diaz Maida, he had one shot on goal. I thought he probably could have passed, but he did have that shot on target. Kyogo, what can you say about Kyogo? Apart from jumping at the wall and turning his back to a ball that's coming towards him. Take it on the chin. Take it on the face. Take it on the chest. To turn your back was criminal. To jump out the wall, out of your position, and I can understand he's trying to close the ball down, but hit the ball if you're going to do it. You know, ram yourself into the ball. It was just devastating. And then the second half, we were just completely abysmal. You've got to love the Scottish media straight after it. You know, they come in and they start talking about the financial strength of the club. And Brendan's only got one thing on his mind, and that was he's just wanting to talk about, look, My priority here is the team performance. He said it's not the balance sheet. You know, it is how we play on the pitch and how we perform on the pitch. At the end of the day, we felt a bit. He was asked if it was inexperience, and he tried to allude to that. You know, I'm going to go back to the week before the window closed, the transfer window. The week before, Brendan Rodgers said, look, we need to bring in some experience. We need to bring in some experienced players now because we've got a young squad. The average age, according to the Celtic financial results that came out, the average age of the team is only 24. Yes, if you've got a group of 24-year-olds that have played together for 3 or 4 years, and they came up through the ranks and they all know each other, but putting a squad and a new manager together straight into the Champions League and expecting them to do... Listen, if somebody had said to us before the game, would you take 2-0? Considering they'd scored 17 goals at home, well, I don't know if it was at home, but they scored 17 goals in their last 3 league games. Somebody says they scored 6 against, it was like Livingston. Now, Celtic haven't been able to put 6 past anyone this season so far. So, you know, where do we go from here? It is just the first game. We can take it on the chin. As long as we can keep all our players on the pitch and as long as we can get the silly mistakes out, I still think we could finish third. Because that team last night, if that's the top team of the group, do you know, we had them. If it wasn't for that goal, 2.5 minutes into extra time the first half, and then the sending offs, we could have got something at the game. I'm convinced we could have got something at the game. Was it a sting in the tail? A keeper like Joe Hart should have made a better save. The wall moved. The wall is there for a reason. But then again, why do you put the smallest person on the pitch in the wall? It was absolutely unbelievable. And, you know, we're not got a lot of height in the team just now. But, you know, the people are now saying Joe Hart could have moved. Joe Hart saved a penalty last night. He saved a penalty. He kept us in the game. Do you know what I mean? So trying to blame him for one thing and then not give him praise for another. You know, he did see it late. That can happen to anyone, but it was that far out. And during the live, I did say at the time, the last person to beat Joe Hart from that kind of distance was Lee Griffiths, who done it twice for Scotland. And then I did say at the exact time, I said, I hope I'm not coming to regret this in 10 seconds time. And then about 8 seconds later, Kyogo moves out the way. Anyway, when will Kyogo score in Europe? That's the big question mark. I don't know if they're going to be alive tonight. Got a lot of things going on just now, so keep an eye out on the channel, and hopefully we're talking about better things tomorrow and not Kyogo moving and yeah, just absolutely garbage. Have a great day, Celtic fans all around the world.